Capture forms part of a new series called Beadwork. Machine-stitched beads are strung onto a collection of golden cords and arranged on the wall. I like to work in an open and experimental way, not necessarily knowing what's going to happen. I have always been fascinated by fragments of ancient jewellery in museum collections, their structure and combinations of colour. When working on the computer, I enjoy sampling colour, zooming in and out of digital images, looking at all of the different coloured pixels. In Capture, the beads are made of fabric, so they're not solid or hard. Cloth has the potential to change from one moment to the next. These beads are soft and mutable, so they may fold and crush under the weight of one another, or when compressed. It's important to me that the work is balanced and refined. In order to refine this piece, I completely overloaded it with strands of beads and then began to pull it back, simplifying it in the final arrangement and allowing the white wall space between the cords to play a part. I am not able to fully comprehend every aspect of what I'm doing. I believe that through making I can access my subconscious, and this influences my decisions and what manifests in the work. In this piece, the colours appear as though they are trapped together in a net. I began working on Capture at the beginning of the first lockdown last March, and as I made it, people started painting pictures of rainbows and putting them in their windows to say thank you to the NHS. I thought that this was interesting because in a way I have made an upside-down, multicoloured, jumbled rainbow. Following on from Capture, I began making strands for weave out of stitched and padded cloth. Inspired by a drawing that I made years ago and the cloth kits, clothes and dolls of my childhood. Each element is created with a single colour print over a different coloured ground, using a handmade block. While recalling the muted yet dynamic colour combinations of the printed corduroys and cottons that I wore as a child, the colours and patterns that I have created are also reminiscent of Polynesian bark cloth. There is something humble yet magnificent and mesmerising about these handcrafted textiles. It is my desire to make pieces that are visually alive and exciting to perceive. I very much enjoy the element of play in the work. I like to be able to change certain pieces, to rearrange them completely, improvising with the visual elements that I create. Through this sensual process, I may be surprised by unexpected juxtapositions of colour and pattern. I love getting lost in the process of making, having a problem to solve, ending up in a muddle and finding my way out of it. My hope is that the viewer will also be completely absorbed in the work, sharing in the experience alongside me. Weave can be hung in different combinations, and each wavy strand can be turned to show the back, which is made up of flat painted colours. Across the piece, blank white strands punctuate the pattern, drawing the eye back to the wall and connecting visually with the white seams that run along the sides of each element. These irregular, natural gaps on the cotton are formed through the making process of sewing, painting and block printing. Reminiscent of an instructional diagram of weaving and the surface of woven passementerie, this piece is a celebration of the process of weaving and the dynamic nature of thread.